Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. So, someone called the cops on me. Or more properly, they wrote a very lengthy and wordy email to the cops about me. Now, normally I would say when somebody reports you to the police, this is something you should take very seriously and you should, not talk about it online, not talk about it with the police, get a lawyer, all of those things. But in this case, the complaint is legally hilarious, and so we're going to talk about it and maybe laugh about it. So, the origin of this is that on one of my Monday live streams, I discussed an individual by the name of Adrien Tan. Now, Adrien Tan has got himself into a bit of trouble with the courts because he is basically being declared a vexatious litigant. And that means that the courts are tired of him and are going to impose restrictions on what he can do in the courts. Now, as part of that, they made certain negative findings about Mr. Tan. And so when we want to know what the deal is with this guy and what things I was talking about on the live stream and why he's so upset, we can review this. The first finding is Mr. Tan is not a credible individual. He makes open and blatantly false statements in his materials. The next is Mr. Tan actively rejects and circumvents court processes and litigation management. Again, these are the findings of the court. These are rulings. So Mr. Tan exploits legal processes for personal advantage. And perhaps the most relevant here is this one. Mr. Tan is actively attempting to conceal his bad litigation conduct from the public and other litigants he has targeted. Now, that was part of why I decided to cover this case, is that if you've got a person who's behaving extremely badly in the court system and is trying to make sure no one knows about it so that he can perhaps continue to get away with stuff, then it's probably a good idea if the public is made aware. Certainly the court makes some comments about we're going to make sure that all of this gets sort of spread around so that maybe people who are dealing with this guy will know it. Anyway, he was not happy about this. He sent me an email basically wanting to give me his side of the story, and I'm like, dude, I'm just reporting on the decision. This is what the court said. Well, we don't need to have a chat. That's not necessary. And he also sent a message to the police. And he CC'd me for some reason. And I almost missed it. This was back April 23rd, and it went into my spam folder. I occasionally check my spam folder, and I was like, oh, hey, somebody called the cops on me, and it went into spam. So, let's have a look at what he has to say, because, yeah, this is going to be fun. So I've redacted out his email address just so that nobody reaches out to him. Dear Edmonton Police Service, please kindly know that I recently, on yesterday's date, experienced harassment, intimidation, and detestation online on social media from a person whom I've never even met and who is a stranger to me. The never met and a stranger to me is correct. Please kindly know that a person named Ian Runkle of social media YouTube website Runkle of the Bailey, spelled wrong, who I understand is located in Edmonton, Alberta, correct, has, without any boundaries whatsoever, made a video on social media which denigrated and falsely accused me. Sir, I was just reporting the court decision, findings of fact of a court. So maybe your issue is with the court. I discovered this after receiving several threats from certain anonymous sources. Now, normally I would say, chat, don't contact this guy, but nobody has any way of reaching this guy. So far as I know, I don't think his email address is out and about, and I don't believe you. It's the thing. He says, I got these threats from certain anonymous sources. Well, a guy who has been found not credible by the court and who has been found to make blatantly false statements is claiming that he received, mystery threats. I don't believe it. Please, and certainly I never encouraged anybody to threaten or harass or talk to him at all. This guy is not a person you want in your life. Please kindly know that I have never met Mr. Runkle ever, nor have I ever had any contact with him in the past. Please kindly know that I was falsely accused by Mr. Runkle on many points on social media, and I'm uncertain why Mr. Runkle has falsely accused me. Again, I read the court case. That's just from the court decision. Respectfully, I do not know him. I understand that he may be under the impression that I'm a sovereign citizen, which I am not, and have never been. Okay, I don't care which flavor of vexatious litigant you are. The court has found yeah. It is possible he may be targeting me due to perceived membership of a certain social group. I'm not, because I also don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I think I would have to know I don't know what social groups this guy's a member of. Other than, like, the Vexatious Litigant group, but that's not really a social club. I don't understand. Please know that this conduct has intimidated me and has chilled my ability to further properly participate in the proceeding. So basically, he's accusing me of a crime called intimidation of a justice system participant. And in order to have committed that offense, you have to have specifically intended to cause fear to a justice system participant in order to prevent them from participating. And I have never had any interest in causing fear to this guy. I've had interest in laughing at him because he's behaving badly, and I continue to. I mean, I would have forgotten who he was, honestly. I did the video, and I wouldn't have come back to it unless he did something else in court. But now he's done this, so I guess that's reminded me. But I don't care. Like, the people who want to mess with his participation in court is not me, it's the court. That's why they're bringing proceedings to restrict his participation. So, do I want to cause him fear? Absolutely not. I just think he's hilarious. Those are different things. Okay. So he says, please know that I was at all times a justice system participant. As a court participant, I politely reiterate that Mr. Runkle's conduct has intimidated me. Not in any way that is covered by this law, but good try. Like, good try. I understand that around April 2024, an interim non-final decision was rendered by the court. Yeah, because they've said, we're going to punish this guy, but we haven't decided how hard yet, and we want to hear from everybody with an interest before we decide that. So it's an interim decision, but it makes some pretty final rulings in terms of, his behavior. And as a result, Mr. Runkle, a person whom I do not know, has now, after ostensibly reading such, taken it upon himself for reasons that only he knows. It's because it's hilarious. That's why. To engage in certain acts which have harassed and intimidated me. No, they haven't. We've made fun of you online because you're doing stupid things. That's not harassment. It was one video, my dude. One video. And you don't have a right to have people not comment on your bad behavior, especially when that bad behavior is findings of a court. So, and/or have caused the same to be done, or to be done so by others. I'm just going to let you know, I'm not the police of the universe. I don't control the humans. But also, I don't believe him when he says this happened. I don't find it credible. So again, I stress that I do not know this person and have never had any prior dealings with him. Frankly, I do not wish to know him or have dealings with him, which is why he sent me messages asking to have messages with me, and also why he CC'd me on his police report. Okay, dude. Yeah, okay. But I am forced to now have to reach out to the police and to him in order to address this conduct. I mean, you could just move on with your life. That's probably the best option. At no point has Mr. Runkle ever reached out to me so as to confirm whether what he stated and emanated about me was accurate. It's court findings, my dude. He simply made inaccurate comments without permitting me the chance to defend myself and his conduct, and the resulting threats received thereafter from others who have viewed his video have chilled my ability to further participate in such proceeding. Again, I don't control the universe, but I don't think it happened either. So, as a result of the above hateful rhetoric of Mr. Runkle, I have experienced threats from other individuals whom I do not know. Evidence of such I will send you in a separate email, where threats of violence were, on today's date, made to me by persons who I understand were motivated by Mr. Runkle into doing such. Sure, Jan. I was falsely accused on many instances. You already noted I made one video, so there ain't many instances. You can't even keep from lying in one email. So, including that I purportedly pretended to be someone I am not, and of other intentional acts. Again, everything I said came from the court findings. Again, I do not know Mr. Runkle. That seems to be a theme. Mr. Runkle has no idea about the overall situation involving any civil proceedings where I may or may not be a participant. May not? Didn't you just say you were? Like 2 paragraphs ago? Okay. And again, I have the court decision with the court's findings. I am very saddened and disheartened that in our free and democratic society, a person whom is not known to me is now attempting to interfere with me and intimidate me while I am a party to a civil proceeding, or is causing the same to occur by others unto me intentionally. No. Nobody intends for you to be harassed. Nobody intends for you to be intimidated. We're just talking about your business because it's a public court filing. This is why we have public courts, is that sometimes people can report on them. Like me. You know, I've got the right to freedom of expression. We're doing an expression here. So, based on his own video, he assumes and believes the worst of me. No, I assume and believe the court findings. Without ever having even spoken to me. Again, court findings. I am in essence experiencing harassment over social media by a person whom I do not know, for seemingly no reason. Sir, I suggest you read the court filings again, because they detail lots of reasons why people might make fun of you. Now, it's not illegal for people to make fun of you for when you do dumb things. Bluntly, who is he as a stranger whom I do not know? Who is he to, as a stranger whom I do not know, harass me or any other person in such a fashion? Again, we got freedom of expression. Anybody can comment on a court decision. You don't need to be somebody who knows the person. Mr. Runkle appears to operate under the assumption that at the court level which he describes, self-represented parties are treated equal as represented parties. He does not seem to realize that the language that has been used at that level of court is routinely used at that level of court toward many self-represented parties, which brings civil actions for monetary damages. Sir, only the ones who engage in bad behavior. Again, these are findings of the court. So, Mr. Runkle fails to understand that since 2022, that level of court has often operated in some circumstances under an incomplete record, as warned of within Rutter versus Rutter of the Alberta Court of Appeal, and that interim orders are often band-aids, not surgeries. In any event, I have no obligation to respond to him or have any contact with him whatsoever, or provide clarifications to him, given that he's a stranger. Cool, then don't. Please know that Mr. Runkle, a person whom I do not know and have never met, has insulted me, including by having called me a giant jerk and jackass for absolutely no reason. I'm just gonna say, you're confirming this. You're providing the evidence. Now, I think I noted that this is kind of the views of the court as summarized. So, yeah. He's caused others to, in essence, do the same. Um, it's not illegal to call you a giant jerk or a jackass. Mr. Runkle, especially, we're going to get to some really jackass behavior because, oh, it's going to get spicy. Mr. Runkle, a stranger and person who I do not know, appears to have become obsessed with me. I made one video, and then I forgot who you were until you tried to report me to the cops. So, it ain't an obsession, it's just, what the heck? And this causes me to suspect, as it would any other reasonable person, which you're not, that he may perhaps be experiencing concerns of a mental health nature, and I'm very worried because I do not know what he may be capable of. That's some language to send to the police. So, it looks like he's hoping the police are going to kick down my door and do me a violence, is what I read out of that. So, yeah, if I didn't think you were a giant jerk before, this is giant jerk behavior you're doing right now. So, he also referred to me as an absolute headache for the courts. Also, pretty much what vexatious litigant means. I am very saddened and disheartened by the inaccurate and false way and manner in which Mr. Runkle has referred to me. Again, findings of the court, sir. Please know that I was falsely accused by Mr. Runkle of playing lawyer when I'm not a lawyer. Again, what the court says. He also falsely accused me of allegedly being on bad terms with transcript management when I'm on the best terms with them. Yeah, this actually was like addressed in the court case, amongst other things. Like they specifically note that he says that they're on the best terms when they're not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, moving on. I was gonna pull it up, but it's just not worth it. I'll link the case. You can read it yourself. You can see what the court has to say. You can, so, all right. I was falsely accused by him of having outstanding fees or doing things I have never done. The court indicated that he was ordering things and then reversing the charges. So, again, that's the court. I do not believe that Mr. Runkle realized that litigants cannot control the way and manner in which courts word their decisions. You can make arguments and you can do better. I do not believe that Mr. Runkle understands the way the court he referenced operates administratively in our current times. Okay, again, reporting on court decision. I just don't care about your gobbledygook. Mr. Runkle has falsely accused me of allegedly trying to access a court file in 2022 that allegedly contains some sort of serious matters, when I never did. In fact, I was not even permitted to make submissions about this before these comments and commentary was made. This is getting a little repetitive, but we're going to go through it just for fairness. That because of the purported court cases that he believes I am running, Mr. Runkle says that the court said about me that this guy sucks and to tell everyone. That was kind of paraphrasing, because that is kind of the gist of it. And this appears to be part of his motive and intent in harassing and intimidating me, or causing the same to be done so by others. The court has never said this about me. Again, it's a paraphrase, and I think it's an accurate assessment of the court's opinions. I am very concerned that I'm being abused by this person whom I have never even met. How many times is he going to say this? Like, this is over and over and over again. You made the point. We've never met. Cool. He is making personal attacks against me so as to intimidate me. I'm just pointing out the court got some problems with you. That's it. I do not want to have any contact with him, which is why you emailed me multiple times, and okay, like, that makes no sense. But I'm forced to now take these steps to defend myself because of this person whom I do not know, who is causing me to be the recipient of harassment by others. I expressly and wholly deny all of his accusations and statements. Again, check the court record, sir. I was accused by this person, whom I do not know, of potentially being prosecuted for pretending when I've never ever even done this. I have previously sought legal advice about this from the police. Pro tip, do not seek legal advice from the police. Seek legal advice from lawyers. The police arrest people. Lawyers give advice. They're different worlds. Mr. Runkle has absolutely no idea about all of the submissions made in the matter and the overall surrounding circumstances. Yeah, I'm reporting on the court decision. If Mr. Runkle would have reviewed other cases involving other self-represented parties at that level of court, he would have found that the court has used similar language in their matters as well and made similar findings against them as well. This is just blatantly not true. There are lots and lots and lots of matters with self-represented parties where the court may even have difficulty because self-represented parties struggle at times, but where they didn't make these kinds of findings. These kinds of findings are very rare. So all of this is bullshit. Please understand that I'm very concerned that someone who I've never even met is engaging in such strange conduct against me. Again, please understand that I do not know him. How many times you gotta say that? In our free and democratic society, please know that I have, as most people in a free and democratic society, exercised my lawful right to approach the court and provide them proof of detriment incurred, as I understand that I was permitted to and could. And I am exercising my lawful right to talk about it. Because that is my right. It's totally in the charter. Like, it's in section 2. It's right in there. Section 1 is basically we have exceptions to every other right, and section 2, yeah. I feel it is wrong to be pressured, harassed, and intimidated outside of such matters by persons whom I do not know on social media. Again, people can comment about your stuff. I do not want to quarrel or argue with Mr. Runkle. Cool, you don't have to. I simply wish this person who I have never met in my life to find a better hobby and pastime than to harass and intimidate strangers whom he does not know and has never met, and to stop making unwanted behaviors about and towards me, and which in turn, it causes others to make threats to me. First, nobody's watching this and going, I need to threaten some people because Mr. Runkle talked about them. I don't, like, that's ridiculous. Second, I don't think those threats happened. But I mean, hey, maybe if the police do start an investigation, they can look into those threats, because I'm just gonna bet that either they don't exist or that, you know, they're coming from inside the house, if you know what I mean. But he wants me to find a better hobby. I guess he wants me to do more leather work. So, cool. Please understand that it is strange and frightening when a stranger whom you do not know develops an apparent obsession with you. One video. I guess 2 now because he's reported me to the cops, but I ain't obsessed. I'm just like, what the hell? Which in turn causes others to make threats of violence against and to you. Evidence of this, which I will send you in a separate email. Again, sure, Jan. Please kindly contact me, and please kindly know that I wish to politely reach out to the police and attend a police station so that I may provide an interview and fill out a witness statement given all of the above, because I believe that given all of the above, among other things, I may have unfortunately become the victim of a crime by a person and stranger who I do not know. Good news, you have not been the victim of a crime. That should make you happy. I don't think it will, but yeah. So by a person and stranger who I do not know and have never met, named Ian Runkle, and who I do not want to know or to meet, except that he emailed me. So yeah, And I am very troubled by the fact that I must now approach and reach out to the police and to this person in order to have this harassment cease. Okay. Do you think it's helping? Serious question. I've attached a photo of what Mr. Runkle looks like, and I respectfully ask that the police please ask Mr. Runkle to please kindly stop his harassment of me, given that, again, I do not know him, and I've never had any dealings with him in the past, ever, and I truly do not want to have any dealings with him whatsoever. Please know that the video he has posted confirms that his intent is to provoke a state of fear into me as a justice system participant. That is a blatant lie. In order to impede me or have others impede me in civil proceeding. Again, no. I don't want him afraid. I don't really care what his emotions are. I just kind of want to talk about stuff online with my YouTube friends. Please know that I'm following your instructions found at the following link, which is the criminal harassment link. I've also provided Mr. Runkle the following as per the instructions found at the above link. And so here is the following. Harassment caution. Ian Runkle, I hereby withdraw permission for you to ever again approach me at any location, which has never happened. Phone me, which is never, I don't have his phone number. Or send a message to me in any manner whatsoever, or cause the same to be done so by others. So this isn't a message to him. This is, I do videos on my channel. But I guess I'm not responding to his email. The Edmonton Police Service is now involved in this matter, and any further contact from you, directly or indirectly, may be regarded as criminal harassment. Spoiler alert, it won't. Like, yeah, no. Anyway, so he includes a picture that's kind of it's a still picture of me, and there was a PDF of some formal caution, which I didn't even read. So yeah, that is a little bit of excitement. Now, the interesting thing is, I mean, I don't know. We've got this guy who the court has identified wants to suppress criticism of him, and it looks like, to me, that he's doing so via a bullshit police complaint, because that is the most bullshit that you will ever see fall out of the back end of a bull. But, I guess I have some reason to be concerned, because admittedly, the police did investigate me when I reported death threats. I mean, I was cleared, but they investigated me for, yeah. They wanted to see if I'd engaged in animal cruelty when I bought cow's eyes from a butcher. I never actually met the live cow, so yeah, don't necessarily have the greatest of confidence. And it does make me a little nervous when he's sending reports to the police suggesting I have mental health issues, which, I mean, let's be fair, I'm weird. I'm a little eccentric, but I don't think any of this counts as mental health issues. It's just, yeah. So, fun times. Anyway, to answer the question in the thumbnail about am I going to jail, I don't think the answer is anything other than but I thought I'd share this one because it's a thing. I guess I knew that this would be a possibility when I started talking about, the sovereign citizens, the vexatious litigants, that kind of thing, but it's still funny. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this to be interesting or educational, and I'll keep you posted as to whether or not I go to jail, I guess. Maybe I should, measure out my wrists for the handcuffs, get my toothbrush ready, all of that stuff. But yeah, thank you. I'll link the case in the description below so you guys can check that out. See what you think. See if you think I was fair to Mr. Tican. Of course, his description of what I said is not accurate, so maybe go back and watch that Monday live stream. I guess I'll try to link that in the description below too. Yeah. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters at the $50 level: Purple Dragonair, CCFR, PJs Forever, Canada's National Firearms Association, and the Canadian Shooting Sports Association. And at the $20 level, Lindsay Metcalf, Larry Kalniak, Kyle Fox, Drunkle of the Baileys, Cameron Johnson, Andrew Elsich, Vicky, and Dorky Dane. Thank you as well to my $10 supporters who will be in the crawl immediately following. I've got to update it because I think there's some new people there and I haven't yet updated it, so they probably won't be in this crawl, but they'll be in the next one. I got to make that happen. So thank you for watching. Hope this has armed you with knowledge. See you next time.